like 5 or 6 turns of the braid like this, and then once I've got an inch or inch and a half of braid already done, then I take my piece of extension and spread it across the 3 pieces of braid so that there's part of an extension on the left piece and part of the extension on the right hand piece, but nothing on the center piece. So then you hold it tight and braid under the left and the right and do a couple turns like that until that extension gets pretty secure in there. Now at that point you're going to see that this side over here, the one that doesn't have any extension in it, is really thin still. But don't worry about that until you get the extension pretty secured in there. So see, now I've got a few turns past the extension. So then what I'm going to do is pull a little bit of extension off one of the 2 fat pieces and pull it over to the thin piece. The thin piece, like I said, is the one that is just natural hair, no extension. So I pulled a little bit off that center and pulled it over to the real hair piece. And then I'm going to turn that under, and that's still a little bit thinner. Now it's in the center, and then I'm going to take a little bit of extension off of this right hand piece. I'm trying to get just the extension, not the real hair, because once we get down towards the tail of the braid, the real hair isn't going to go all the way down to that end. So what I want to try to end up with is about an even amount of extension all the way to the end of the braid. So I'm kind of flipping this braid over and pulling a little bit of extension out of this right hand piece. And you may not always get exactly even, but you can do a few more turns, see how it feels. I can tell this right hand piece is still a little bit thin, and this center piece is still a little bit thick, so I'll add just a little bit more into this right hand piece, trying to get about even. You still do see a little bit of a lump right where I added the extension in, but it's a lot smoother than if you add the extension in right at the head, and it also lets the braid lie at the head a lot nicer, I think, than if you add the extension right in next to the head. So then now I've got pieces that are pretty even, and I'll just braid all the way down to the end of the braid, and here's some finished braids. We're letting this be real long today because Emily wants long hair. And so that's how you add an extension in partway down.